So we have a away game again this time.
Yes, we do against West Ham. Yay. Fun times to be a Chelsea fan, Jason. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not just pointing to my penis. That's a thumbs down.
Best open ever.
I like how you try to stifle the laugh so you can hit the button as fast as possible.
Yep. I gotta control the laugh.
So with the setup, we use StreamYard. When the intro plays, it plays the music and it shuts down our microphones and it shuts off our video, so you can see if you check out YouTube, you can see Daniel's amazing intro art that he has made for the video. But we have these little videos down below where we can still see each other, and we can't speak to each other or anything because we hear each other through the app. And Daniel I love watching his face right after or right during the intro because it's always good. So
yeah, I always try to end on a high note on the cold open with you making a good joke like that. So you crack me up, and so it's just a good time to hit it. But yeah, my dogs are being crazy tonight. So if anybody hears my dogs, they're on one tonight. But
they're angry at Chelsea too.
Yes, they are, just like we are. But we are the Red, White, and the Blues podcast. He is Jason, and I'm Daniel. And together, we are the Red, White, and Blues podcast. Together.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
What do I do with my hands?
I actually haven't cut my fingernails. I didn't mean to show those on the screen. Sorry, everyone. Sorry, everyone, for my lack of hygiene.
It's okay. You've been mourning Chelsea winning because that's what we do around here. Chelsea sucks, but we still win somehow, some way. I don't know.
Are we just never happy? You know? Like, are we the type of fans that just?
Hey,
I mean, a win's a win.
A win's a win.
Yeah.
When we won 6-2, I was happy. I was happy when we won 6-2. Yeah. We were really hot. We were really happy then.
But I was still like, I think we peaked.
You might have been right. So there's a chance that that's not a bad take. Like,
oh no,
I don't know. Yeah, Chelsea wins 1-0 on a late winner by Nkunku, assisted by and Sancho, I believe. Yeah, Sancho.
Yeah,
yeah. So I don't know what.
I don't 80th minute, 80-something minute.
Yeah, something like that. I don't remember. It was an 8 o'clock in the morning game. It was 2-3 days ago, however many days ago it was. I don't even remember. I've had
a double TV thing going on.
I did, because it was freaking football season 2. My LSU was playing at 11 o'clock in the morning for some reason.
They won.
They did win somehow, some way, despite us. I mean, like,
yeah, that's amazing.
Didn't deserve to win. We sucked, but somehow we still won. And same thing with Chelsea. They sucked. I mean, like, the stats from this game are just like mind blowing. I think their XG was 1.78. They had 9 more shots than we did. They had 19 to our 10.
Yes.
They had 7 on target. They had a penalty that was missed on top of that.
Blocked.
Correction. Great correction. Bob did save the penalty. So it was just an all around, just a match that we looked like utter shit. And somehow we won that. So
I'll say this. You said LSU didn't deserve to win the game. And you and I talked about that the other day, because like I guess it was when we drew Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
And Maresca came out and said, well, we deserve to win. And our thing about deserving to win is it's a platitude that is overused. It's a cliche in the game to say, well, we did better than what the score did. And you and I at the time were pretty much like, just a couple weeks ago, we're like, we don't like that language.
Yeah.
I thought about that a lot during this game because, boy, did I think Bournemouth got really unlucky.
Yeah.
I mean, like, they obviously didn't win, you know, but man, if you were going to say about any team that probably deserved to get something out of a game, like, I think you could make a case that you could use the word deserved here for Bournemouth, because like every time they went forward with the ball, until there was a couple subs that happened like late in the second half, like though the midfield lanes were available to them. We let them coast through us, and I thought they were going to score almost every time. They hit the post a couple times. Bob had to make some really good saves. We just got really lucky with some misses. Bob apparently did a lot of penalty shootout homework, or a lot of just homework on their penalty takers, and that paid off because he blocked the shot. It wasn't a great penalty anyway, but like Bob still, he dove the right way.
He Supermaned it.
Yeah,
he was stretched.
He did. Yeah. So I mean, I would just say like I guess that was just. I mean, kudos to Bournemouth, man. They had a plan. They were able to take it to us. They were playing man-to-man defense for most of the game. They shut down almost every single offensive thing we tried to do the first half. I mean, the first like 2/3 of the game.
Yeah.
And we just were not able to get anything. Like, you'll look at those stats you just read are horrifying. and I think we felt that during the game, because I was going to talk about like the eye test of this game. And the eye test to me, we failed. And Bournemouth, I think they had a plan. They stuck to it. They pressed us. They played man-to-man. They double-teamed, triple-teamed people. They needed double-team, triple-team people. And I think at the end of the day, they couldn't keep it up. And that's what happened to them. And then we, kudos to Maresca, made some subs that came in and changed the game. So saved some a little late, but we got a balloon celebration out of it.
We did get a balloon celebration. Yeah, and I think that last point you said, my two takeaways from this match is, number one, what you just said about our bench. Like, our bench is just completely insane. Like, we went from having like no depth to having just freaking insane depth on the bench, outside of having a couple of midfielders. Now we have wingers that can come in. We have attackers that can come in. So I think that was one of my takeaways, is like how great our bench is. I mean, like, it was two bench players that made the contributions on the game-winning goal with Sancho and Nkuku. And like you said, and I think you and me both were calling for Nkuku to come in a lot earlier than what he did. And Maresca seems to be like, I'm getting the pattern of his substitutions. Usually there's one right around at halftime or right around halftime, and usually it's one of the wingers. And then he's going to do a couple more subs in there, and then he's going to bring Nkuku on late in like the 80th minute of the match to try and do something. That seems to be his pattern so far. Don't really agree with that. I do like his halftime subs. I will say that. I'm all about. Managers don't like to do that. I'm all about it. Like, if somebody's sucking at halftime, take them off the damn pitch. I'm fine with it. I have no problem with it. So I did find it funny. I think the stat with Sancho is it took him 11 matches at United, and that's like starting consistently before he ever had a goal contribution, and he did it in a half at Chelsea. So just saying, Chelsea's better. And my other takeaway from the match is that we do have to, like, I like the fact that we won the match. Well, of course I like the fact that we won the match, but we showed fight till the end, even though we didn't play our best. And then by far was one of the worst matches that has happened at Chelsea in the last 3 or 4 years. And we've had some stinkers in there, but this was one of them. But we found a way to win. And it's against a lower table team, which we have problems with over the last 3 years. So if we want any shot at finishing top 4, we have to learn to win games like this. And maybe this will help build the confidence of the team even though we didn't play our best, we still found a way to win. Even though Bournemouth, I'm with you. I don't want to say deserved because you get the results that are on the scoreboard, but I can sit here and say Bournemouth outplayed us because they did. Yeah. They outplayed us for 85 minutes of that match. The only thing that we controlled in that match was possession, but it didn't matter. I mean, when the other team has
lateral passing.
Yeah, like when you have, I think we had 60-something% possession in that match. I don't remember the exact number off the top of my head. I just looked at it. But the other team has outshoot you by 9. Like, what are you really doing with the ball at that point? If the other team has the ball 30-something% of the match and they have 9 more shots than you do, what are you really doing at that point? You're not doing anything creative with it. You're not going for it. And it wasn't like Bournemouth was sitting in a low block either. Yeah, that was the other problem. They weren't. So it was just, I don't know. It was just it was a very typical Chelsea match over the last 3 years. The only difference is somehow, some way this year we found a way to win. So, I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah, they were. I mean, I don't want to sit here and make this a Bournemouth praising podcast, and like their goalkeeper did what they needed to do. Their defensive line was a little shaky, but they shut down all of our lanes. So they kept Palmer out of the game. They kept Nico out of the game. They kept Neto out of the game. Sancho comes in for Neto at the half. And then we our sub, we brought Vega in at some point.
No, Vega started.
Oh yeah, sorry. Vega started. We brought Felix in.
Yeah.
And then Adarabioyo in for DCC. And then to Tosin. And then we brought Felix in for Mads. And Mads, I will say, was trying to force the issue a lot.
Yeah.
But I think he is seen as a long-term, like he just part of the problem of this game and part of why that 6-2 score was so good. We found a rhythm in that game and we were able to keep going with that rhythm. And eventually we wore the Wolves down faster in that game. In this game, it just wasn't, we weren't having it. Like, I mean, like we were trying to force the issue a lot. And their setup forced us to force the issue a lot.
Yeah.
And Mads just couldn't get in the game at all. He still has a 7.1 rating somehow. So I don't know. The rating system on FotMod is weird. I was expecting everybody to have really low ratings. And Nico did, Neto did, Cucurella did, and DCC did. And
I don't understand how Neto had a rating like that.
I have no idea.
And he wasn't good in the half he played.
Yeah. I thought when Felix and Tosin came in, like things shifted a bit. So Felix came in, for Mads. So Felix comes in. Now we have Sancho on the left, Felix on the right. There was a lot of
Palmer moved to the right.
Oh yeah, Palmer moved to the right. Yes. Sorry, my bad. But there's a lot of movement happening in there, and man. Like we were moving forward better at that point, and then bringing Nkunku on. Yeah. And I think over the course of the second half, we were just slowly able to whittle them down. It just took to the very end of the game to get out of it.
It did.
And like you said, kudos to the boys, for actually staying with the game, because there have been times these last 2 seasons, third season of the Bowley regime or Blue Co regime, like Team Bowley. But
Team Bowley, hashtag.
there have been like times over these past 2 years that we've just watched this team not have any heart in the game.
Just
and there is a difference, I think, because there were times last season where I was saying this is one of the like my least favorite teams to watch in like the last 20 years. I would say that we've been watching. This is like my least favorite team. And I did not say that lightly, but like even before that, even the Lamps stage when we had all the old stalwarts of the 2021 Champions League run. Like even into like Potter and Lamps, like that team was really hard to watch.
Yeah,
especially towards the end. And then to have all these young guys and Sterling still not stay with it like all of last season until like the very end, we were able to string together like a series of wins that popped us up into 5th. Like that last season was hard to watch. Like there was because I said I was going to give what's his name? Pochettino. Oh yeah, the United States men's coach, right?
United States coach, yeah.
Hashtag. But there were times. I mean, like there was a lot of Poch out earlier than I thought there was going to be because we were watching this dispirited Chelsea side lumber through games.
Yeah,
and I will say, like this time around, it doesn't feel like that.
Yeah.
So, like, eye test on the pitch, fundamentals are bad. Like, I think I kind of remember what I wanted to rant about. Like, during the game, Daniel and I were talking about things. Our text message thread reads really poorly. Like, we're not happy.
No.
But I think the rant has subsided, and I am trying to look at this more positive. But I would say the rant was going to come down to fundamentals. And that is a thing that this team has been really bad about over the last several years, probably since we won the Prem in 2017. Like, the fundamentals are really bad here. And a lot of wayward balls, a lot of bad touches, a lot of bad decisions, slow passing, no finesse on the passes. Like, we are just not able to string together anything, especially under pressure. And that is really hard to watch. So I know people talked about Maresca ball being hard to watch. I think it's even worse when we make it look really bad.
Yeah.
So it's not like like, even if Maresca ball is not silky, like we can still get some of the basics right. And man, there were just people dropping off, not paying attention to passes. They would go out of bounds. It was wild. And our back line with DCC back there is terrible. Like, DCC needs to never see the pitch.
One of the worst players on the team.
I think I'm done. That was a lot of rambling, but that was basically my thoughts of the game.
Yeah, DCC, man. I mean, I understand it in this context that we have injured players and that Reese is hurt, Gusto's out, so we got to find somebody in there. But then we're out of midfielder because Enzo's ill, apparently. Lavia's hurt. So, I mean, like, ill. Whatever it is. But
I
it's
hope
just one of those
illness,
things. I do too. But, I mean, like, Cucurella has proved that he can play right back. Just saying. Some would say maybe he's a better right back than he is left back. So, I mean, there's that. And Vega can play left back, and he's done great there. But, I mean, I get it. He was forced into it. But at the same time, if you're the manager, you got to find some way around that because he's terrible. He is awful. Like, he doesn't need to be anywhere near the pitch. So, Vega was okay. I like him better, I think, back at the back than I do in midfield. I like him back there. But let's speak to Vega going and jumping in the crowd and getting a yellow card for that. Let's speak to Vega on the fact that he is going to be our new passion merchant at Chelsea. And I am going to officially declare that I will be getting, as soon as we get a front of the shirt sponsor, I'm one of those weird people that likes the front of the shirt sponsor. I don't like the plain kits, but I will be getting a Vega shirt, jersey this year. I've chosen him. Yeah. So just because of Chuck Laminka's uncertain future, and I don't want to buy a Chuck Laminka shirt and then him leave in January or next year. So
but hashtag Pro Vega Podcast.
Yes, definitely hashtag Pro Vega Podcast here. Definitely support Vega. He did get a yellow card for it, so there's that. So I guess that's a good segue into
who didn't get a yellow card. I think that's the shorter list.
Yeah, that's the shorter list. Who didn't freaking get a yellow card? 8 yellow cards for Chelsea in this match. I don't remember how many.
6.
I think 4.
It's 14 overall. 14
Premier League record. Somehow,
Anthony Taylor's not reffing a game this weekend because.
No, but did you hear the reason the FA gave? They came out with a reason.
Sure.
Oh, wait for this one. It's a doozy. They said it's because he was getting online threats to him and his family.
Hashtag condemn that shit. But still.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. Like, I'm sure it did happen. I'm not saying it didn't happen because there's assholes out there. It totally happened. No need for that. Don't condone that. But that ain't the real reason he ain't.
But are they looking for a reason?
There you go. They're looking for a reason not to put Anthony Taylor on the pitch this weekend, and they have it. But it's always like that. We said that on the podcast, the preview episode.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a shit show. Anthony Taylor's reffing.
Yeah.
We've already had him twice this year. It's insane. Like, and it wasn't even like, that's the thing. It wasn't even just like, I'm not even mad that it was just he gave out 8 yellow cards to Chelsea. I'm mad they gave out 6 yellow cards to Bournemouth too, because it was just an overall disaster show this time. Like, it was just a complete shit show. And then the best part of it is that when Nkunku scored, Cucurella celebrated right in his freaking face. Right in his face. I wish Cucurella would have given him one of these, right in his face. I know he probably would have gotten the red card and sent off, but I mean, I would have been completely happy with that.
Cucurella doesn't take Taylor's bullshit. I was reading back through our text, and one of the texts was, I think we were defending a corner, and Cucurella just gets like shoved to the ground. And just looks at Anthony Taylor like on his knees in the box and just shrugs at him. Yeah. Like, I think that's how most everybody felt. Like, what are we doing? Like, what are you doing? Why is this even happening? It's insane.
Yeah. It was just
what's crazy is that like a couple games ago we were talking about discipline and how the ref needs to be carding people to like, not let the game get too chippy. Yeah. And like how a ref does have a responsibility to keep a game within guardrails. And Taylor just hands them all out. And it's just a shit show.
It's freaking Candied Halloween with Anthony Taylor and yellow cards, man. He was just
crazy.
Just throwing them out. I am going to call it. I'm going to state it right now in this episode. Prediction. Next time Anthony Taylor refs a match, Cucurella is getting sent off. He referees one of our matches. Cucurella is getting sent off.
Dude, we need to mark this. We need to remember this prediction. Hey, if you get this prediction right, that goes towards the duck.
Sure, whatever, man.
If you're new to the podcast, Daniel and I play a predictions game where we would try to predict all of the scores for each game.
Yep.
And at the end of it, there is a blue Chelsea duck.
That I still have.
That Daniel still has, even though I won. But that's the trophy. So that Daniel is showing on his screen, by the way. But anyway, I digress. But yeah, that's the trophy. So Daniel, if that is true, I'm remembering this. That's going down as a prediction.
Okay, I mean, whatever, man. You make the rules up to this thing. So I'm just with you, man. You make the rules up. I just go along with you. So
now that I have carte blanche, I'm making up so many rules. It's happening.
Dude, you've always had carte blanche. You just didn't know it. So
damn it. How many years wasted? Okay, I would like to give Bob a special shout out this episode.
Okay, I think
he deserves it.
I was gonna ask you who your player of the match was.
Yeah.
And then I was gonna tell you mine, and I was gonna tell you mine was probably gonna surprise you because mine was gonna be Bob. And this might be the first and only time that I am ever proponent for Bob getting a player of the match award. But I'm with you. Say your piece about Bob. I agree.
Also choose Bob. Yeah.
Yeah. Say what you got to say about Bob. If you
save a penalty and then have some really good saves, he even because I think Colwill deflected a ball and Bob fingertip deflected a ball onto the post.
Yeah.
Like in one case, Bob made several really good saves.
He did.
Yeah, you're right. This might be the only time.
This might be it. I'm not going to make a habit of making Bob my player of the match, but I will say this. The fact that he didn't get it and they gave it to Sancho, which I just thought was the most ridiculous thing ever. I'm like, okay, he did assist. Okay, he didn't score the goal and he didn't stop the penalty and save like 10 other shots. Like, to me, Bob was clearly the best. Now, granted, he still kicked the ball out of bounds like 10 times. His distribution was shit, but he made some great. He did dive at some balls unnecessarily, like he always does. But when it mattered, he stopped the ball from going to the back of the net, and that's what matters. So, Bob, you got my respect for one game. So.
Dude, to go back and listen to those preview episodes for the season, we just shit on Bob.
Hey,
who would have thought 4 games into the Prim season, he's our man of the match?
Hey. A blind mouse finds a piece of cheese every now and then, Jason.
True.
I'll get it out in a minute, what I'm trying to say. But, So, I mean, in other words, in layman's terms, Bob got lucky is what I'm saying. He got lucky. And I'm glad he got lucky because he got lucky for our team. So
he's just a blind man diving the right way.
And it honestly looks like that sometimes.
He feels the vibrations in the ground and just guesses.
Oh, speaking of that, I was watching they had the I don't know, I think it's the Paralympics went on a little while ago. And they apparently have freaking blind soccer in the Paralympics.
Dude, that's awesome.
And they were doing a penalty shot. And it might be the coolest thing ever. The goalie was standing in the goal, and the dude, like the referee, would go and tap on one of the posts. And then he would go to the other post and tap on it with like a metal rod so it makes a pinging noise so you can like hear the vibrations and stuff like that. And then they got to take the penalty shot. Dude. Coolest thing ever. Didn't stop it, but it was still cool as hell.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm just like, this is how? Like, respect those. I don't understand. You're blind. How do you even know where the hell the ball is on the ground?
Yeah,
that's I would just whiff and fall flat on my ass. But
dude,
anyway,
I wouldn't even be able to walk around my house, and I've lived here for several years.
Yeah, exactly.
That's impressive.
It is.
Kristen and I, shout out to an old favorite show, Nickelodeon show, Avatar: The Last Airbender. Have you watched it?
I thought you were going to say Pete and Pete.
Oh, well, that too.
Avatar: The Last Airbender was a Nickelodeon show?
Yeah.
I've learned something new tonight. Did not know that.
So Kristen and I have been rewatching it. We're on the season finale, or the series finale, excuse me.
Oh.
But Toph is a blind character in the show.
Mm-hmm.
The blindness jokes in that show, on point.
On point, huh?
So good. So good.
Oh, man. Yeah. Overall, I mean, like,
how do we get to this? Oh, Bob's blind.
Bob's blind. Oh, man. I mean, I guess final thoughts on the match for me. I'm glad we won. We pulled it out. Players showed some fight, like you said earlier. That's more than we can say they've done a lot of. Now, toward the end of last season, they did show some fight. But, whatever. It was nice to see. We'll see how this weekend goes. But you got any final thoughts on the match before we predict this weekend's scores, Jason?
I was really angry most of that match. And I'm glad that we won because it subsided the anger ever so slightly. But our fundamentals have got to be better.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it was it did. It's probably made this podcast a better episode. The fact that we're not angry on here.
Several days. I had to delay. So again, sorry for the late episode, everyone. But several days. Time heals all wounds.
Even Chelsea wins.
Even Chelsea wins. Even the most egregious Chelsea wins. Even after a win, that's still a wounded win. Okay, I don't know. I'm done. I don't know what that is.
Oh man. But switch focus a little bit for the last few minutes of this podcast. Got West Ham this weekend at West Ham, and it is a bleak for us Americans 6:30 in the morning match. Tell me how excited I am to wake up freaking early, and then I got to drive 3 hours to a football game.
Yeah.
It's going to be to an American football game.
Yeah.
Going to be a great long freaking day. So thank you, Premier League, for making us play at 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
I don't know. West Ham's below us in the table. It's about all I know. I don't know. We're 8th. They are 14th. They are 1-1-2.
Yeah. Our away form
it's better than our home. It's better than our home form.
Yeah,
that's for sure. So
we did lose a conference league game away.
Yeah. Does that count though?
Let's just stick to Prem. Our away form is better in the Prem.
Yeah, it is.
They scored 5 goals. And
we've conceded 5 goals.
6. We conceded 8. 5 goals.
And let in 8. Or scored 8, sorry. Well, 6 of those were in one match. So there's that too. We've scored 8 and 6 were in one match. So
this is not. We look better than we are at the moment.
I agree. But like we said, it does come down to the fact that, hey, at least we are showing some fight and showing some spirit this year, if you will.
Yeah.
So
okay, I'm ready to make a prediction.
All right, make your prediction, Jason.
Okay, because our away form's pretty good. West Ham a little leaky. I don't really know much of their playing style. This is only gut. I'm going 2-1 win.
Oh man, that's what I was going to predict. I'm predicting the same thing you are.
Hell yeah!
I'm not letting you pull away from me in the prediction game.
Oh man, Battle for the Duck is getting intense.
Battle for the Duck. Yep, I'm going 2-1 as well. I'm with you. So should we have a conversation before we get off here? I'll ask you this question. Do you think Nkunku should start this week over Jackson, over Nico?
Yeah, it gets weird because if a player really does well in the previous game, then I do have that initial well, they deserve to start.
Mm-hmm.
And Nico, I don't know if it's that fair in this particular game because I think most of the people that started this game up top were not able to do much, including Palmer.
Fair. Yeah, including Palmer. Fair.
So I don't know. I think it might be particularly harsh. I also think it's a good problem to have at simultaneously a really difficult and challenging problem to have because we do have a bunch of young guys that are very mentally up for things or cocky enough to want it. And I think we saw that a lot last year, especially because Potts didn't choose a penalty kicker.
They cocky.
Yeah. So I don't know. Because the initial thoughts when Nico and Nkunku were going to play was that Nkunku would be more of a 10 role.
Yeah, it'd be where Palmer is essentially. Yeah.
Yes. I still and we talked about this several times last year, I still like Palmer on the right a little bit.
I don't like him on the right in Maresca's system.
Yeah, and that makes sense. Yeah.
That's where he hugs the touchline too much.
Yeah.
But
I think teams and even Crystal Palace did this too. They can kind of figure us out at the top.
Yeah, we're not hard.
Yeah,
he's got a system and he sticks to it. That's it.
Yeah, and so I don't know. I don't think Palmer has been shut down creatively more so this season, at least initially. And these are initial impressions. The season's still early, but I would say in that Crystal Palace game, and especially in this game, the creative, it doesn't flow as well.
Yeah,
and so I wouldn't mind seeing Neto take a back seat this game. I mean, I think Sancho's going to earn his spot.
I agree.
For sure. I think they're going to stick with Mads on the right, which means...
I mean, he's earned it this year.
Yeah.
So
which means
I'm with you on that.
is going to stay 10.
Yeah.
And then João Felix is probably going to spend most of the season as a super sub unless there's an injury or unless somehow he makes a bigger impact than he is. So all that to say was like the only place that Nkuku probably can go easily until we pick up 10 injuries is at the top. So then he's taking Nico out. So it is hard. I wouldn't mind seeing Nkuku start and let Nico come in. And I don't think that would be a condemnation of Nico. That's just let's utilize all of our assets that we can. And we just it's like you said earlier, we got such a deep bench that I think it's going to be hard to keep all these players happy.
Yes.
And that's the challenge. But at the same time, having a deep bench is really good.
It is.
And I think putting Nkuku in and then, I'd be okay with him starting. I talked myself into it. Whew! Sorry, everyone. We got there.
I think going back to your points you made about last year is that with Palmer and sort of how I think Poch, like attacking wise, like Palmer had a lot more freedom in his system. And I mean, how many times last year before we got on that little win streak at the end of the season, how many times were like Palmer just took over the game and did it himself? Like that was pretty much like I remember we had an episode on here where we broke down if Palmer wasn't in our squad, where we would be, and it would be in a relegation battle. And that was like halfway through the season. So it was one of those things that I think Palmer is playing more in a system this year than he was last year, because clearly Poch didn't have a system until the last 6 games. So I feel like he's in a more structure, which I guess you got to look at it. Is it good for Palmer? Is it bad for Palmer? Like Maresca said, he's going to have more freedom. It is what it is. Whatever. That's another conversation. But I think you brought up a good point about, last year to this year, Palmer hasn't had as big of an impact as he had. I think that's just my 2 cents on why. It's because it's more of a system.
Makes sense, yeah.
But I'm with you. I think Nkuku, it is weird because we got a midweek game next week too. We got conference league starts. So yay, woohoo!
Going for the treble, baby.
Yeah, going for the European treble. I did learn we do get 28 million pounds if we win the conference league.
Huh.
So there's that. I mean, we do get 28 million pounds.
It's like a sixth of a player.
Yeah, 6.
Yeah. That's Raheem Sterling's salary for the season.
That's right. Raheem Sterling's salary. Damn right about that.
We're still paying for her. You're welcome, Arsenal. Jesus Christ.
Hey, Arsenal fans are already ready for him to leave. I saw somebody tweeted out, or it was Instagram or something. It's like, pass the ball already.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, could have told you that. I mean, he doesn't know how to pass. So, Anyway, back to Nkuku. Yeah. It's a tricky situation because, like you don't want to demoralize Nico. So would it be demoralized in a situation, especially when we have a midweek match coming up this week? Right. You're obviously going to rotate them. So one of them starting West Ham, and the other one starting Conference League.
Right.
Like Palmer,
Palmer's not available for Conference.
Nope,
we didn't name.
He's not available for Conference League.
There's 2 other players that we didn't name. I can't remember who they are.
Palmer, I don't remember who they are either, but I know Palmer was the main one. So you think one of them's going to start for the conference? The other one's going to start in the Conference League. So I don't know. I would like to see Nkuku because I feel like he's in scoring form. Maybe Nico can find his scoring form in Conference League because it theoretically speaking will be against lower level. We got to next week. Remind me, Jason. We've got to do our Conference League. When we're doing our predictions, we got to do our game to guess what country these teams are from.
Oh, yeah.
So we need to do that
really bad at that.
Oh, I'm going to be terrible. I've only heard of one of them, and that's just because I play FIFA. So, but we need to do that next week when we're doing our Conference League predictions on next week's episode. But, I don't know. I think I'm with you. I think Sancho eventually overtakes Neto. If he doesn't, I mean, he might do it this week.
Yep.
I definitely think Felix is going to start Conference League matches. Yes. So I mean, like on paper alone, we should just walk the Conference League. But then again, we're Chelsea, so
yeah, we tried to make a meal of it in the entrance stages.
Playing it, we freaking lost to some no-name team. So I mean, like it's possible. I told you we're gonna get knocked out by some dirty Russian bastards. Is probably what's gonna happen. So my prediction.
Lavia and Fofana are the other two that are not that we didn't name for the Conference League squad.
Okay. I'm fine with Lavia because he can't stay healthy.
Yeah.
Fofana, I guess, is probably for the same reasons.
Yes.
Trying to limit his minutes. So
trying to save a knee. Trying to save
a knee. Yeah. And Wesley's been better. He's getting better every match. I will say that with Fofana. He's getting better every match. So I really do think maybe, hopefully, I'm really trying to be optimistic about this, that him and Colwell will be our future center backs going forward. Like they will grow into the system this year and they will become a dynamic duo, a Batman and Robin, if you will, Jason. Back line.
Yes.
So
other dynamic duos are there. Shaggy and Scooby.
Kobe and Shaq.
Oh. That's pretty good.
Or
Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen.
Hey, what's the basketball? Stockton and Malone.
Hey, shoot, what's his name? Tim Duncan and shoot, who is his?
You can name. I would accept like 3 different answers for this one.
I know, but I can't remember their names.
Well, you got a French guy, a white guy, and another black guy. I would accept any of those 3 for it.
Yeah, just say one of their names because I'm done.
Tony Parker.
Yes.
Manu Ginobili. Or David Robinson was the original.
Yeah.
So
I was trying to think of Ginobili, and it would not come to me. Daniel and I used to watch the Spurs play.
We did. We were huge Spurs fans.
We loved that Spurs team. I don't know how it happened either. I think we were watching like one of the finals or something, or one of the playoffs, and we were just like, "Damn, this Spurs team is awesome!"
Yeah.
And then we were like, "Damn, the Spurs are in it again. Let's watch."
Yep. Because we became Spurs fans. I think we were watching a movie at my house, and we just ended up like the basketball game was on after the movies, and then we just started watching the Spurs from there on out. So
we just became Spurs fans. Yeah,
we did.
It happened with Federer too. Like when we used to watch tennis all the time.
Yep.
Tennis is dying in America, man. Pickleball is the new rage.
Screw pickleball, man. The kitchen. Can't get in the kitchen. Oh, is this serve legal? Is that serve illegal? Let me go to Walmart and buy my $500 freaking racket. I'm going to go out to the court and hit some wiffle balls because that's all pickleball is, a freaking wiffle ball.
Do you realize, like, we've lived in the golden age of sports, man?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Between 90s basketball.
Yep.
Between LeBron James era basketball, Kobe era basketball.
Well, we've seen the 3.
We've seen the best of basketball.
Yeah.
We've seen the best of football. We've seen the best of soccer.
Yep.
With Messi and Ronaldo.
Baseball is probably the only one we haven't seen the best of. I mean, we did see. Now I guess it's
we've seen the best of tennis.
We have seen the best of tennis because we've seen Djokovic, Federer, and Nadal.
Yeah.
And then I guess baseball is debatable because it's how much do you weigh the steroids in there? Because we did have the home. We did have the home run race between McGuire and Sosa, and that transcended everything. And then Bonds came along and broke it, later.
Right.
But all of that transcended stuff. So I mean, but they were all on steroids. So it's and now Sammy Sosa's white. So it's like, how much do we weigh all this?
Hey, but most importantly, we have seen the best of Chelsea.
We have seen the best of Chelsea.
And the worst.
And the worst. Well, I don't know about the worst. There's probably some old people that would argue this on that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But yes, your point stands. Yes, we've seen the best of Chelsea. It's a great way to put that in there. To make it about the podcast, Jason. Yep.
End it.
Yep. End it.
End me getting us off track.
Well, we should probably end it anyway. Yeah. Anyway. But yeah, so y'all tune in Saturday. I can guarantee you this. There will not even be a hint of a live stream this Saturday because neither one of us should be able to watch the whole match.
Yes,
but
we can't.
Well, I'll watch them. I'll watch it. It'll just be on my phone in the car, the second half probably.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So anyway, Jason, you got any final thoughts, final words, or you just want to tell these people where to find us?
Look, yeah, my final words. I mean, I've been off the rails tonight. I'm sorry, everybody. I'll just tell you where to find us. We're on Instagram, which means we're also on Threads. We're on X. We are on Substack. Daniel writes amazing things on Substack. He actually, Daniel kind of controls all aspects of this podcast. All I do are control the rules to the prediction game. But Daniel really deserves, speaking of deserving, all the platitudes and respect of all the listeners for making this podcast run. So thank you, Daniel. I want to publicly thank you for making this podcast as good as it is, because you're amazing. But
I love every minute of it.
Daniel keeps all of it going. And if you're listening to us, we are also on YouTube. You can see us and listen to us, unless you're blind. And then just listen. But that's okay, because we love everyone. We talked about people with blindness.
I know. It fit with the theme of the podcast. It fit with the theme. I just thought it was funny. It's good. Funny.
We made it easy for everybody. Everyone.
Yeah, exactly. We're all inclusive.
Yes.
All inclusive.
Anyone who wants to listen, come on in.
Unless you're deaf.
My wife just sent me a text. What did she say? Oh, she said I sound very happy. Okay.
Here's the thing. For the blind people, we have the audio. For the deaf people, you can go to YouTube and put the subtitles on.
Yeah.
I'm not sure they're going to be correct, because YouTube subtitles are pretty sketchy sometimes.
Yeah. And I mumble a lot. So sorry about that, everyone.
I promise we're not saying anything that is offensive in this podcast, but YouTube subtitles might say we are.
Yeah, that's true. And we say the word shit a lot. So we do mark that. So but in case you can't see it, at the bottom of the screen it says at Red White Blues FC. That's where you can find us on everything. And we love all of you.
Yep. We do. But yeah, until 6:30 on freaking Saturday morning, we'll catch you guys.
Daniel, you got to tell us where they can listen.
Oh, sorry. Skip ahead, edit, rewind. We're on. Yes, great callback. We are on Spotify and Apple, wherever you listen to your podcast at these days. We are there. So follow us, give us a like, give us a comment, do something. Follow us, listen to us. That would be great. Or watch us. I don't care. Either one. But until Saturday, freaking 6:30 in the morning, we'll catch you guys on the flip side.
I guess I'm happy now. I'm a happy Chelsea fan. Flippity floppity.